Morning, everybody.
Morning, Rabbi.
I'd like to share a story. There was a man. This story, he himself says it, and the recipient says it. So you hear the story from both sides. It's beautiful. It's been going around WhatsApp lately. And basically, the story is like this. There's a guy, he was driving home. It was Erev Shavuos, it was right before Shavuos, and he was stuck on the FDR, and there was traffic, and the exit, and here and there, and he's going on the way to Muncie, wherever he's going, on the way to New Jersey. And at a certain point, he sees a husband and a wife, a Hasidic man, standing with a whole bunch of stuff, and a police officer. And it looks like they're like on the side of the road, like there's something going on over here. So he felt bad, and he pulls over. And he asks what's going on. So he said that basically he was pulled over. I guess maybe he was going too fast. He was rushing. The police pulled him over. And it turns out that his registration was suspended. So basically they told him he can't have the car. They had to take away his car. He has all his stuff here. He's going upstate or wherever he's going for Shavuos. He's the chazan, he's the cantor there. And he's stuck with his stuff, with his wife, his family, his kids right there. So the guy's thinking what to do. But he's really going the other way. It's minutes, you know. If he takes the car, he'll just make it. That's it. If he gets a ride, that guy's going to be stuck for the holiday. He can't take him and then come back. So he tells him, you know what, I don't live too far away. Come into the car. Take the car. I'm going to take an Uber back home. And you take the car, and after Shavuos, you bring me back the car. Now, the problem was, this guy was ordering Ubers, the other guy, but nobody wanted to go all the way up. The Uber is a new shtick now. If they don't like where you're going, they cancel you. And it's only if it's worth it for them to come back. If there's not worth it for them to come back, get a ride on the way back, they cancel you. That's the way it works. So he tells him, do you want my license? Do you want something to... He says, no, I trust you. Just take my number, I'll take your number, and after Shavuot, we'll work it out. The guy couldn't believe it. Someone's giving him his car. It was a Lexus. It was a brand new car. It wasn't, just like that. Never saw the guy before. Gave him his car and went home. He went upstate, and he was wherever he was. He was hired for Shavuos, and he was telling everybody the story. Nobody could believe it. Nobody could believe it. It was like, wow. Mikam Yisrael. Anyway, he comes back, Matzah Yantif, whatever it was, and he gives him back his car. And they were singing together. He's like a cantor. The guy has a beautiful voice. There's a video also how he's singing afterwards. But and then he himself says the story. He said he couldn't believe it himself, and they both were thanking Hashem that they could be part of this story. The man that gave the car was thanking Hashem that he had the opportunity to do this mitzvah, and the recipient was thanking Hashem that he was a recipient of such a great mitzvah. So this is something that we say, Mi ka'amcha Yisrael. You don't have this in any other nation or any other group of people, that someone could just give away his car to a total stranger just to help him out to go for Yontif. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I would like to tie it in. There was a letter that the Rebbe wrote to somebody many, many years ago in Israel. In Israel, between the religious and the non-religious, the religious are called dati, which means religious, and the non-religious are called chiloni. Chiloni is Meloshen choil. Is like, holy and regular, secular, So the Rebbe writes to this to a person that he was involved in the government, that there is no such thing of dati and chiloni. Everybody is Jewish. Some people, they show it more on the outside. Some people show it less on the outside. But even the person that is not considered yet religious is religious by definition, by who he is. He's a holy person. He's part of the Jewish nation. Hashem says he's holy. He's holy. That's number one. Number two is even the mitzvahs that he chooses to do, because it makes sense to him, and the reason why he's doing it because it makes sense. Nevertheless, once he or she does it, they are tapping into their inner essence of holiness, and while they're doing the mitzvah, they themselves are appreciating it on a whole nother level without themselves even realizing, because that's who they are. So this is in this week's parsha, Behaalotecha, is a time that Aaron kindles the menorah, that he lights the menorah, and when he lights the menorah, he gives this energy, this shalheves, this fire, this flame, this warmth to every single Jew. We should know that we all have it. It's all flintstone. We all have it inside of us. You could have a flintstone sitting under the water for hundreds of years, thousands of years. You take it out of the water, boom, you could spark it and it starts on fire. so too every single Jew, we have an neshama, we have inside of us a flame, a fire, a flame, a connection to God, a part of God, a piece of God inside of us. We just have to get it started. We just got to get a boost. And we're up and running. So Hashem Shalom, we should be inspired. We should be a light for ourselves, for the Jewish people, for the whole world. And we should be zeicha to the time when there will be the ultimate light of the coming of Mashiach with B'mher v'yaminu v'naymer. Amen. Amen.